So what are the modes? Well, the modes are basically different flavors of the major scale. They contain exactly the same notes, they just start and finish on a different note or a different degree of that scale. For example, our C major scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And it's a major scale, so it creates a major chord. And it sounds happy. Now, if we take that same scale from D, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, now it might not sound different until we play the chord and realize that that makes a minor chord. So our Dorian has a kind of a slightly sadder sound, but our major scale, it sounds very, very happy. And each one of these modes has its own specific flavor, feel, vibe, however you want to explain it. So that simple shift changes the sound, the mood, and the character of that original scale. So historically, the idea of the modes goes all the way back to ancient Greece, and the Greeks had their own version of the modal system. But the actual sequence of intervals in those Greek modes was quite different to the ones we use today, but we did import some of those names. So in medieval periods, church musicians borrowed these Greek names and applied them to a whole new set of diatonic scales. And those medieval patterns, not the original Greek intervals, are the actual foundation of the modes used in modern music theory. And over time, they evolved through centuries of composition and improvisation into the modal system we use today. So when we use these mode names, such as Dorian or Mixolydian, we're using those ancient Greek names, but we're actually applying them to a set of scales and intervals that came from the medieval church system. And for us as guitarists, our modes are the Ionian, which is much more commonly known as our major scale. Then we have the Dorian mode, the Phrygian mode, the Lydian mode, the Mixolydian mode, the Aeolian mode, which we will nearly always call our natural minor scale, and then we have the Locrian mode. So each mode, as I said, has its own colour and personality. Lydian feels bright and dreamy. Dorian feels minor but funky and bluesy with a kind of soulful twist. And the Phrygian mode is really kind of dark and moody. And once you know each mode's character or mood, you can apply it to your own soloing or songwriting process. And the easiest way to find our modes, as we mentioned earlier, is to take a major scale you know, or to find one using the interval system, or a pattern tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So that's C to C, our C major. Then if we apply a different home note, so let's try E this time and play E Phrygian. Hear how that has a different sound immediately. Now in the second part of the course we will do exactly this. So we take C major and we learn all our modes up and down the neck in 3-note per string patterns, and we'll also play patterns going across all 6 strings. But in the first part of the course we will learn every scale and mode in one position in E, so we can use a droning jam track, and we can use our E string there as a reference point to feel the vibe of the mode. For example, that's E major, just jamming around a few notes. Now if I change that to E Phrygian, you notice a vast difference in feel and vibe. Yeah, so it sounds kind of Eastern, flamenco-ish, And also you can hear the influence of bands such as Metallica using that particular mode. So the modes are 7 different ways to play the same set of notes, and each one will unlock a new flavour for your playing. So the names are ancient, but the sounds are there for you to use and shape.